Right, this is the cable we're going to disconnect just here. That's what's connected to your lever in the cabin that actually puts you in forwards or stern or whatever. That operates on this rod here, and I like to make sure that T-bar there is totally horizontal, because that means the gearbox is in neutral. Hope you can see this okay, and if I can hold the camera still enough. There's a little lock nut just there, and that bolt, for want of a better word, goes through this side, and it has a split pin on that side. Now all that has to unscrew off of the cable. That is the cable itself, and that has to be unscrewed to go right out through the back of the leg casing. So to make sure I get it back in exactly the same place, I'll undo the lock nut, and I'll count the number of full turns. Oh, excuse me. Count the number of full turns before it comes off, so I get it back as good as in the same place as I got it as it is at the moment. Whether that's the right or the wrong way of doing it, I neither know nor care, but that's the way I do it. After you've done that, you can just pull it away, because you've got to get it out of this bit, you see, so it's free. And this is too thick to go through the hole at the end, so just the cable comes out. I'm not really explaining this very well, but it's going to be easier to show you. But I have to do a bit with one hand and a bit with another, and I'm starting to freeze yet again. Right, and when you've done that, to make sure the cable comes out the back, I'll show you that. Just move the camera around, hang on. I just went in my shed to get something, and it suddenly dawned on me that rather than just count the threads, I can actually use a depth gauge to measure how far down the thread that's got to go when I put it back together. So that's what I'm doing, and I shall leave the depth gauge set at that distance so I don't get it wrong. And if you're wondering what all the noise is behind me, it's the hurricane that Scotland are having, and you're having a bit of it down here in Bedfordshire as well, so it's not a lot of fun because stuff keeps blowing past and hitting me in the face. Leaves, dead cows and all that sort of thing. Anyway, that's the distance. I shall now take this off. I can't show you how I'm doing it physically because I can't hold the camera and use a span at the same time. So take my word for it. Next bit you'll see in a minute is when I've taken this off. Then I'll show you the little C-clamp at the back that holds the cable in the casing itself. Okay, right, hold fire 2 minutes. So that's that little bit done. We will now proceed. I don't know if you can see it very well. I must admit I'm doing this in the winter, so it's ever so dark down here. But there's the cable going across the middle of the screen there. That's where it comes out the back of the leg and goes into the transom. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a 10mm nut by the side of that with a tiny little C-shaped bracket. And I'm going to undo that nut. You only slacken it, then I'll go around the other side and show you how you just lift the little clip up. Okay, y'all, please be patient. Now, those of you who know a lot about Volvos and have done this loads and loads and loads of times, like Volvo people and stuff like that, would have been shouting at the screen, hurling abuse at me, saying, "You stupid Burke, it's an 11mm nut, not a 10mm nut." So yes, stand corrected, I will of course kill myself at a later date. Anyway, I've slackened it off, and all you do then is just push that up like that. Push it up out of the way. That cable is now free to slide out. You can see it's completely free now, but you don't pull it out because there's not enough room until you actually take the leg off. So now just sit there. I'm just going to nip the bolt up just a little bit so that the clip doesn't fall down while me and Dave are standing there balancing a however many pounds of weight of leg on our fingers and toes, because I don't want it to get caught then, so I'm just going to nip it so it doesn't fall back down when we're not looking. Okay, yeah, right, anyway, that's for that. Right, the next thing I'm going to do is undo those two Allen bolts there. That one and that one. And if my memory serves me right, they are 516 AF. What that is in metric, I have no idea. But that's what I use. We'll undo those, and then we will put a bolt in there and a bolt in there and pull the collar out, or the steering stump, call it whatever you want. I dare say there's a technical name for it and I don't know what it is. But anyway, I'm going to slacken them off and then I'll show you what to do in a minute. Only as I say, I can only do it with 2 hands and not 1. Right, so that's the next job anyway. Okay, as you can see, the 2 Allen screws have been taken out. And now you put this bolt in here. You've got 2 threaded holes, one there and one there. And you screw this in. So greasy, everything's so sticky. It's all sticking to me. And you screw it in, and that whole collar, it's so dark, I can't believe it down here. The whole piece there will come out. I'm afraid I'm going to have to use both hands. Oh, by the way, this bolt, for the observant among you, is the longest one, if my memory serves me right, because I took it out yesterday, of the casing that goes on here. It's the one that it's the bottom one, I think, 'cause it's the longer one of the 2. That's right, because that's the short one. That's the longest one. And you take the casing goes on here, the bolt that goes in there. You use that. It's the same thread, etc., etc., etc. So that's what I'm using for that. So you can't watch me take it out because I can't get it out and hold the camera and talk all at the same time. So I'll show you that in a minute when I've got that bit out. Okay. Right, go and make yourselves a cup of tea. Commercial break, etc. Bye. Right. That's the piece lifted out. Okay, as you can see, it's all self-explanatory. If you can put the 2 screws in there, it's even better. It makes it even easier to get at. But I am too cold and too shivering to get 2 in anyway. Mine came out quite easy. I'll just show you what it looks like now it's gone. Now what you do, you must push the steering helmet back into the transom. As I said before, against the rack and pinion. Do it nice and gentle. Having said that, it's a bit awkward, but it's gone back right to the top. You want it to stay back up there as far as it'll go. Then hopefully, if you've done it right, and you won't, well, I won't really know if I've done it right or wrong until I put it back in the water. But I've not. Hopefully, I haven't upset the trim reading. That's the power trim reading and not the trim tab reading, like I said earlier, because I'm a Burke. Okay. Anyway, you push that right back up there. I'm going to get a little bit of something to stick it up there so it doesn't fall out or move in any way, shape or form. And that's the view you've got now, like that. Okay. Due to the cold and the wind and all the rest of it, I came in the shed and thought I'd do a bit of cleaning up of some of the parts I've removed so far. As you saw, this is the piece that actually threads on the gear change cable that goes into the quadrant on the leg. You saw me remove it earlier. I measured the distance. It's that piece. It's called a cube if you want to split hairs. And I've cleaned all the grease off it and all the dirt and what have you. And I've noticed quite a bit of wear on the little shank just there. I don't know if I can show. I don't know if you can see it very well, but don't know if you're picking that up. But there's a bit of wear on that. So as well as ordering a pair of bellows, I've ordered a new one of them. And if my memory serves me right, I think it's about £4 including VAT or plus. I can't remember. About £5 anyway. But anyway, it would certainly do a bit longer. But seeing I've got it all in bits anyway, I'm going to put a new one of them on it anyway. So kill 2 birds with 1 stone, etc., etc. So there. So that's certainly worth having a deco at next time you do yours, or if and when you do yours. It's got a wear. It's going to have play in it, so you get slack in the cable and all the rest of it, I suppose. But anyway, a bit of wear removed is a bit more performance gained, is the way I look at it anyway. Right, ho hum.